So, any questions on that? Well, I think. No questions?
No, Brandon, how did you get those meters in again?
Well, I had them come through customs, so I had them in my bag. They opened your bag and they saw them.
Right.
And I happened to probably get an inspector that wasn't up on e-meters.
Right.
He asked me what they were. I said electronic testing equipment. And he shut the case.
Oh, that was it?
Go through everything.
Okay.
Yeah.
So did you pick the one out that you think didn't know what he was doing?
No, I didn't do nothing. I just did what Ron said. So I just agreed that I did worry a little bit. But it's funny, I wasn't that worried when I got to the ship, got to the customs for some reason. I worried more about it before I started. So anyway, do you have a question?
I'm just curious why you eventually left the church and what you...
Oh, I was going to come up to that. Okay. So when I was in Buffalo, eventually I left Buffalo and moved to Dallas, and I was still field auditing. Prices were rising at the church. Things were going wrong. People weren't coming back as good. I sent people for OT3. They didn't come back with the same results. And I was looking at that. I'll get you next. I was looking at that. We brought a lot of families in, and I always believed that if you're going to try to get the whole family, they're all going to make them all Scientologists. And I started looking at how can you send a family through Scientology? It's so expensive. For the average people, you'd have maybe one person. And that wasn't going to work. So I became a little bit disappointed with the organization. I've never been disappointed with the technology or anything like that. And I decided to just, I formed a business, went into construction. Went and worked on some buildings and walls and things for a while. Does that answer it?
Yeah, about what year?
What year was it, dear? Around time, John? Huh?
I said 798.
798. Well, one, I felt Ron withdrawing off the lines. I can go back to when I was in Buffalo. Ron used to write to me. He used to write, and he'd send me handwritten letters, and we used to correspond. And then from handwritten letters, it eventually went to typed letter signed by Ron. Then it went to a typed letter stamped, and then I sort of dropped out of communications. When I was in Dallas, it just felt so different. I felt Ron going off the lines. It was a few years after that we realized he died. We heard rumors and the things that came through the lines, and I knew it was so different that Ron wasn't running it anymore. And so I just went and did something else for a while. What were you going to say?
I'm curious as to where you took the meters.
I took him to Washington, D.C.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, to the church in Washington, D.C. Yeah.
So you must have done obviously the original OT levels, not new OT1 or OT4 and so forth.
No.
Great chart is slightly different. Did you do knots?
No, I've never done that. I didn't do power processing. At that time, you didn't have to do some of these things. You know, power processing was getting, at that point, the definition was to get that you could hold your point. I felt I could do it. So I didn't do that. But clearing was great. The OT levels were great. And they're still great. You know, I still, when I did go to New York, we went into New York last year. My son, we've never pushed my son or any of our children to do Scientology. Because Ron said one time when we were at St. Ron did not push his children. He waited until they were ready to do Scientology. Well, my son Jonathan was getting more and more ready. And he was saying, asking about it. And so finally last year I started auditing. And in the process of auditing, I was having trouble auditing because his toenail kept going. You know, you're getting free needles out of everything. If you start the process, it's gone. And he was talking about being a past life. He was in Scientology before. I figured I could find out. I've never checked out past life. So I figured I could get the information and check him out. But I didn't think that was the right thing to do. So we sent him down to Anita and Les. They checked him out. And then you checked him out. Who did you check him out? OT was. He checked out clear and OT7. I forgot the question we were working on. So anyway, so I I got to doing some auditing, and I've been auditing my grandkids and just auditing some people for free. I stay pretty busy with my business, but I'm going to do it. Pick it up again. But Jonathan's going to be the Scientologist.
Yeah.
So, where are we? Let's see. I went through that faster than I thought I would. Any other questions? You got a question? That's my wife. Oh, there's my wife.
So
She,
how many
oh,
people have you gotten up the bridge?
I don't know. A lot. I don't keep track. A lot. Yeah, we sent a lot of people through the OT and training. John's one of them. His brothers went through. His sister went through. The Browns, Holly Brown. She was right up there around. She was his.
Another name.
Yeah, her whole family went through. And my wife and Jonathan finished the Mass. So we're on the move again. What I was going to say, I think the greatest thing about Ron is he didn't ever have to use a teleprompter. And we got two people now that are in control. They both use teleprompters. Our president and Miscavige. When I first saw Miscavige's, I didn't want to talk about this. When I first saw Miscavige's tape about the new books and all that, his age of tech, I was impressed with him. That he had his act together and he talked with him. And then I heard he used a teleprompter. Anybody can use a teleprompter. We also have the president that uses a teleprompter. He sounds good. I mean, I don't think he sounds good, but he can deliver. It's all on the teleprompter. And Ron never used one.
No.
And the thing about Ron is, whoever came up with that much is that little tank. Such a volume of information in a lifetime. It's unbelievable.
Yeah.
I mean, I look at what I've done, and you probably look at what you've done, and you say, it's like, how did you get it all done? You must have had an awful big present tank. Really? He used to write books in no time.
Yeah.
On an old typewriter.
Yeah.
They say he could type so fast, he'd burn out the typewriters. Just amazing. Can't think of anything else to say. Go ahead. Got another
Still
question?
keep in touch with David Mayo.
What's that?
Still keep in touch with David.
No, I would like to talk to him, but nobody seems to know where he is. If I could get a telephone number or something, I'd call him. He was on the briefing course with me. I said we graduated about the same time. He's a good guy. I don't believe any of the bad stuff they said about him. It's a shame. It's hard to believe that an organization can be taken over and all the old timers end up on the outside. With all that Ron prepared for it and all the safeguards in there and everything, how it happened, it's a mystery. It'll be quite a story sometime. Somebody will write a book. Yes. Go ahead.
Did you just say that you had went to the org about a year ago?
Yeah.
And what
Okay.
did you think?
We could tell you about that. Okay, so then Jonathan was wanting to do some Scientology, and I told him about the field. We talked about the field, the free zone, and we talked about the org. And he was back and forth. He's a leader. So I said, do what you want to do. Find out for yourself. So he was interested in the technology, so he went to the org. And they were nice to him. He never had any problems. He flew through the materials. He flew by OT8s and everybody else. They couldn't believe how fast he was. He completed the whole thing, record time. And then when I started auditing, I saw we had no problem. That I knew he couldn't go through the org. So that's when we came into the free zone and connected with me and everybody. And it's going to be a good, happy ending. Okay. Well, I can't think of anything else. If nobody's got any questions. Thank you.
Thank you.